They killed, give me Isaiah 14 and 21. They did the same thing to my people. So you said that they put millions of my taxes. Should a murderer go to jail for murdering? Absolutely. Should a thief go to jail when he steals? Absolutely. Should a robber pay back the money he robbed? Absolutely. So why shouldn't the white man pay for what he did? That's right. That's right. One day you'll see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. 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 I'm in a hell of a hole. Was never expected to grow. Just obstacles set in the road. That a result of me selling my soul. The story I'm telling is cold, but yet it's what everyone knows. The white man's the devil is known. America was never a home. Only a place of captivity, safe facility, hating, disfigure me. They claim that I'm lazy, be killing me. Maybe the slavery draining my energy. 400 years and counting. The trail of my tears is countless. The fact that I'm here is astounding, but I can't wait till this shit is surrounded. Ready to tangle my king and the angel, be ready to rap. Crack in the sky, nuclear missiles will make it official. I'm capturing every cracker surviving. Put them all in chains where they need to be. Slavery for me. And let the whole world see that with them in the cage and safer in the streets. Put the dog on a leash. Get resolved for the beast. 144, get the ruler show, we could all be at peace. As soon as the trumpets are sound, your kingdom, we busting it down. The only way justice is found, the time for your judgment is now. You'll see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. 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 Look, ain't no remorse in my blood, Slim. It won't be no compromise. Now it's time to feed the worms. Watch his body turn to flies. I clutch iron while you trust the lies. The next Glock I buy gon' be Gen 5. I get it customized. And sending shots off like farewell. Praying payback come back around like a carousel. Still remember your Honda's words ringing in my head like bells. Said you in his body, you fit the Lord, fuck the cocktail. Triangle choke, apply pressure to the game like I did Vondale. Payback's a bitch in a dress, she a bombshell. Just dish served cold, I just hope they making oxtail. Glock fresh out the box, I swear got that new car smell. Made myself a target in the world of mad shooters. That was designed fast for our babies to pass through. In the day of our king's reign, I'll be overzealous. They bought my jealous, I bought brand new parabellums. You'll see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. 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 You boy, you know what time it is, nigga. Better watch how you step in, yeah. But that was my niggas, yeah. I'm in yo. Got my nigga Rawan with me. But that was my niggas, it'll be an honor. You know what I'm saying? Under commanding General, your honor. shit ain't gon' stop till we on top and we ballin', my nigga. We be fly as fuck, you know them bitches be stalking my niggas. That shit'll never change and it's the same with all my niggas. City to city, I should be at home, that's what my ribs say. But bitch, I'm grown, I'm in these streets and closed caption. Niggas know we bout that action. If a nigga play with me, then my Hakim gon' let him have it. Hey, make you the shit, this truth the shit. Nigga play, I let that Ruger hit. Get on them tracks, they be like, who is this? I'm rude with it, ain't got no manners. All them pussy niggas talking shit, yeah, I know they can't stand us, but we UPK, Louisiana, bitch, that's what I'm rippin'. And my niggas solid number, real ones in my section. If you wanna get down, put your boots on, start stepping. Brotherhood is a weapon. Brotherhood is a weapon. Better watch how you steppin', cause brotherhood is a weapon. If I die for my niggas, it'll be an honor and a blessing. Better watch how you steppin', cause brotherhood is a weapon. Brotherhood is a weapon. Better watch how you steppin', cause brotherhood is a weapon. If I die for my niggas, it'll be an honor and a blessing. Better watch how you steppin', cause brotherhood. I lay my life down right now for all my sisters and brothers, because I love them. I see them dapping and hug them. It's amazing to see how well we adapt from the struggle. Born again from a life of sin, trapped in the gutter. My mind frame was to kill my own kind. Feeling inferior, waking up ready to die. Run with them killers, so it's just a matter of time. For why take your life or let you take mine? That's when I realized the slaves killing slaves while the white man live to get old. We in them graves, and shit got me feeling played. I opened the Bible, went through them records, found out we was royalty, a nation to be respected. But in this world we rejected, we hated for our complexion. Still fighting to get accepted. We hear the truth and reject it, but love is getting corrected. And all my niggas correct me. The commandments, the foundation we erected. Brotherhood is a weapon. Brotherhood is a weapon. Better watch how you steppin', cause brotherhood is a weapon. If I die for my niggas, it'll be an honor and a blessing. Better watch how you steppin', cause brotherhood is a weapon. Brotherhood is a weapon. Better watch how you steppin', cause brotherhood is a weapon. If I die for my niggas, it'll be an honor and a blessing. Better watch how you steppin', cause brotherhood is a weapon. Hey, hey.
Practice, not a game, not the game that I go out there and die for and play every game like it's my last. Not the game. We're talking about practice, man. I mean, how silly is that? And we're talking about practice.
Best believe that I'm top 3. The only thing is I'm not 2 and I'm not 3. Put me anywhere other than one, then it's not me. It's beef, we shred a nigga block, that's chopped cheese. No peace, the butterfly sting him, that's Ali. You reach, I teach him with the handle, that's Kyrie. Machines you hook like a Roman, that's IV. You a sheep, I'ma go, it's a difference, so watch me. You weak, all hooks, no punches, so block these. They mock me, I just show them how it goes. Try to stomach this thug life. They brain got the nose, bandana on the grip. All heads coming out the foe, connected from Cali to New York, niggas, so let it go. Made for this. Nigga, I eat bars and drink flows, thinking you woke into your third eye peephole. Line for line, this shit too easy. It's like a free throw. Mastered the game too early. This bitch a cheat code. It ain't a game. These niggas lame. State bring a shame. If I'm with an officer, it's a number in his name. We ain't the same. You want the easy pass? Tell him change his lane. Shit, I've been through the fire. You can't stand the rain. Take an aim. Tell him running, he can try his best. Drive a car named after me, that's why I'm in the vet. Lamping these niggas once again, and I ain't break a sweat. Number one at everything I do, that's why I'm one west. The Lord is not the God of the dead, so when I die, come coming back for my spot, so forever I'm top 3. Just tell him to watch this janitor with the mop stick. You gonna need a defensive lineman to block this. On point when I bomb shit, 10 for 10, I do not miss. I'm barking with a full bulldog, it is not mixed. They can see that my mind's sick. I don't write, I find shit. I don't like it, then I switch. If I touch it, it's diamond. Tell a bitch that I'm God sent. It ain't because my kicks is built like 5'6", 5'7" is my bitch. Dangerous, high risk. I lose it, get another one. You think I'm talking about a girl? I'm talking about another gun. You hear now? Hey, look, it is what it is now. We don't fuck with the house niggas. We burn the crib now. I'm ahead now. And I hope they can hear now. I don't care if you think it's it, nigga. I don't fear clown. Polishes make it sound like raindrop. That's a firestorm. Get the job done in the view and get fired on. If you niggas standing for nothing, what you dying for? If you put real with real, that's how I was born. Walking this bitch ready for war. I'm in riot form. I want these niggas to see me flex. That's why I am armed. I shouldn't live in the crib, nigga. I should buy a farm to go through this shit so effortless. Best believe that I'm top 3. Only thing is, I'm not 2 and I'm not 3. Best believe that I'm top 3. Only thing is, I'm not 2 and I'm not 3. Best believe that I'm top 3. Only thing is, I'm not 2 and I'm not 3.
Shit is just different,
man. I'm smoking in on this one.
I'ma show them it's a difference. I'ma only say this once, you better listen. When West is where it started, so you know that's where it finished. We got one main objective, nigga, let's complete the mission. We explaining what the who, lead them bitches in they feelings. Snub on me, only time I put my nose inside your business. I don't want my gun to show, so I wear my shirt bigger. This is our world, cause if this was your world, I'd be the villain. Break his whole block down, all I gotta do is business. Stuffing Mac shell drums, turn your crib to Sunday dinner. You don't live here, you visit, this my shit, it's a difference. I don't do lean, Lobos in my cup is what I'm sipping. I don't do dreams, I just say a prayer, go and get it. And it all work out, you know this ain't for play, this ain't for fun. I've been destined for this shit, niggas know that I'm the one. This shit can go 100 yards, you would think I kicked a punt. You would think I had a flare gun on go, you niggas run. They like he an Israelite, all he rap about is guns. Bitch, I'm an Israelite that own a lot of guns. What that nigga said who? Tell him watch the grind. Yeah, you must be crazy if you ever think of stopping mine. Knock all of the chains out you niggas, make them drop a dime. This Taurus hole 12, it is not a zodiac sign. Piss me off, get me in my bag, make me drop a bomb, drop a nuke, make the world freeze. I can stop the time. Watch what you do, cause once you do it, you can't press rewind. On purpose, I do the opposite, so nigga cross the line. This is different. I ain't looking for trouble, but on point, case you think I rap. Turn him to a vegetable, lead this nigga cabbage patch. No new niggas with me, if you see him, then they got my back. Got it out the mud, big stepping, you can see the tracks. Follow me, I could teach you something. Have her see relax. If you gonna speak on anything, just make sure it's fact. It's a difference, we are not the same. Help them notice that. Pay attention, watch how we move. We can know we can't hang around all real niggas and we move as one. This ain't Fortnite, get into it, ain't no 1v1. The smoke I bring to you, you can't take it in with your lung. Life about warfare, we just make it look fun. She asked what kind of oil I got on, I told her give them some. When West the only real niggas left, you better get you one. Chicken shop, giving out wings if I pull a drum. It's a difference, you better watch your words before you eat your tongue. Scrape the whole plate, not a trace nor leave a crumb. Ice falling off the watching chain like it's freezer burn. Daring somebody to say my name, I would eat to him. Loyalty means everything, so I don't eat with them.
Yeah, those are messed up, no. Bad news is to beat your home, nigga. Yeah. Go on, get on that ass real quick one time. 144, baby. Run that shit up, Trey.
They said you get on, you gon' represent. I said, of course. Soon as they crank that beat, I ride that bitch just like a horse. She about to go dumb, yeah, bitch, be whole guard. You ain't know they call me Obi-Wan. I come with the force. You gon' ride, yeah, of course. Get it lit up like a torch. You even low on this Lord, so that bitch is either or. Yeah, I know them niggas ain't cut like that. I swear I'm too hardcore. Wait up, let me make a call right quick. I'ma start another war. I was hurting when she left, but I don't care about anymore. I need a Vaselina like my Nina Puffer bar. Took a Zoc, watch the dark. Matter of fact, like the dark. Any problem, let them come. We gon' snatch they soul like Shang Tsung. Put them out of service, keep them tools like Miss Harper. Try to hope you way too late. I'm headed straight to the safe. Throw that one up like a trophy. I'm that nigga, ain't no debate. Throw them boys, we taking over. Call them up like set the date. This shit a piece of cake. Yeah, my bitches came from Whole Foods. Told them put on that top 3. Then bring me my house shoes. Don't make excuses, make moves. These niggas ungrateful, gotta show them UPK rules. I make hits like I can't lose. They said you get on, you gon' represent. I said of course. Soon as they crank that beat, I ride that bitch just like a horse. She about to go dumb, yeah, bitch, the whole guard. You ain't know they call me Obi-Wan. I come with the fart. You gon' ride, yeah, of course. Get it lit up like a torch. You even start another war. Spit a plate up with my niggas, get your knife and your fork. They ain't locked in with the cow, then what you speaking to me for? Yeah, I just took the floor. Ain't no cowards in my campaign. They can't stop the campaign. Tell them bring the champagne. They know I'm a champion. They can see the outcome. Get them niggas bad, got them tied down and outdone. You can't do with them steppers, niggas been down since day one. We run up the bands, bitch, like Dylan. They say you get on, you gon' represent. I said, of course. Soon as they crank that beat, I read that bitch just like a horse. Yeah, about to go dumb, yeah, bitch, we hold court. Yeah, know they call me Obi-Wan. I come with the force. You gon' ride, yeah, of course. Get it lit up like a torch. You either low or this low, told that bitch is either or. I told you niggas, you ain't cut like that. I swear I'm to our court. And I just made it go. We gon' start another war. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what it is. 140 for the rebel, busy man shit, nigga. They tear their head off, nigga.
Okay, when Eve did to Adam, I just pray my love don't lie to me. Swing the iron like Samson, I can't let no hoe lie to me. I don't feel these rappers, all they lies is hypocrisy. Ain't no competition, ain't no rivalry. Nigga think I'm playing, I don't hear one word they saying, this shit light work. Think Muhammad one of us, he might lose his life first. Circle up and stay alert. Another cop can stretch the nigga. He ain't demon, this an exorcism. Watch I bless the nigga. You took that open blood, then you know I'm gonna get active with you. From the opposition, I see vision. Let me paint the picture. Rappers claim they spin, I ain't listening. Is effective. If revenge was a woman, now I scope that bitch like Jacob. Side war, we gon' run the summer. It's gonna be historical. Thought they making plays, made them niggas call the audible. As who run this shit, but that question is rhetorical. Bitch, I'm the one, me cookies with the oil. I'ma get them crackers, hell, should've never kidnapped my family. I can't do that. Bet I be the last nigga standing. Do a life sentence for my niggas, pray you understand me. I might put a switch on this Glock and call it young babe. How you real triggering on them dots? You a bird feeder, claiming he a demon. What's a demon to a cold leader? What he saying something, I ain't hear him. This shit like it ain't about who got the gun, it's about who gon' up that fight first. I turn a bad situation to a game change. Bring soldiers from the dead, just raised up the chain. 6 shots, I'ma look like Aaron Jones when I run it. Never bite the hand that feeds you, you'll never get that hand back. He bitching about 10%, I don't wanna hear none of that. He dropping sword, fuck him, just make sure you get that cover back. Look around, he ain't with us, probably cause he never was. Now my chin like you with the angels for your brothers. Everybody won't be Richard Porter, God kill him like Alpo. Play if he want, it's laying in the trunk like Lee Malvo. A certified rubber ass nigga, I am not a toy. Hey, out with that hollow sign, yeah, this the rim accord. Feel like Gullah Jack when I'm in Fayetteville, you feel your boy. Still up on my brain, still I think that's all that I do. The way I get it, boy, lost, they gon' start to call him Elroy. Fuck his game, pop out on them demons like I'm Hellboy.
Shalom, we back here on another Friday night. Clap it up for the class. We're up here in the headquarters of the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge in Harlem, where we've been since 1969 under Commanding General Yohana, and we have been bringing this troop and will bring this troop until Christ comes back, that the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are the true Israelites that the Bible speaks of. And this is our culture, and we have to take it back. And every Friday night, we get into the Hebrew. We learn the Hebrew. We learn our ancient language. We learn it in its ancient form, in the ancient script. We learn it in the so-called Assyrian script, in the form in which it's been preserved. And then we're able to go into the scriptures and read to this day. And we take our culture back. And so, the first step, the first thing that you have to do, that you have to make sure that you do, is know your alphabet, right? It seems intimidating. I know, we know. but it's not. It's not that hard. You learned the English alphabet once. It wasn't that hard. It may look crazy at first, but you just get into it and you dive in. And that's what we've been doing here. We've been diving in. So for anybody out there who's not completely caught up on the alphabet, if you need a Hebrew sheet, drop a comment in the chat. We'll get you one. We'll get you caught up. If you need one, speak now or forever hold your peace, because we're about to dive in. And the link is in there if anybody wants to join the class live via video, via StreamYard. We're here live in Harlem, and we love to have you with us. We're here to bring our people back to our culture. And so today, we're going to go back to some basics. We're going to go over the basic question words that everybody knows. Who, what, when, where, why, and how. And we're going to learn those words in Hebrew, and we're going to learn them through application of examples of them being used in the scriptures. So, without further ado, we're going to dive right in. We're going to start, of course, on the right side of the board, even when we're writing with English letters. Back it up a little bit. And we're going to start with an example in Genesis, the 32nd chapter and the 29th verse. And you can search for many examples on your own. You can go into your interlinear Bible on the web, on an app. I have an excellent interlinear app that puts the Hebrew characters next to English words. You can pull it up in the blue letter. You can pull it up side by side with the interlinear feature. And so we're just going to use Genesis 32 and 29 as an example. We like to go as far back as we can for examples, because the more recent you go, you have to start sorting out, aspects of our language, words that may have been adopted in our captivities and things of that nature. But when you go back to Genesis, you get our language in its most pure form. And so in Genesis 32 and 29, the scripture says, "And Jacob asked him and said, 'Tell me, I pray thee, thy name.' And he said, 'Wherefore is it that thou dost ask after my name?' And he blessed him there." Now, if you've been rocking with us in the Sabbath service, we'll be coming up to this very soon in the Sabbath service. And in the Hebrew class and the LASHAWAN QADASH class, we try and tie together the lessons that we have on Friday night with the application of opening up the scriptures and reading on Saturday morning and understanding what you're reading on Saturday morning and beginning to be able to function in the Hebrew like it's a language, not like you're just reading characters or, reading one word at a time. But as you really begin to put these together, it feels like a language. So we haven't reached this yet, but we will be soon. So it's an excellent thing to go over. But this, of course, is when Jacob was wrestling with the angel. And he said, "Wherefore is it that thou dost ask after my name?" Now, wherefore is just a Middle English way of saying why. Why are you asking my name? And so let's write that part of the scripture into Hebrew. And what I want anybody tuning in or anybody watching along to do as we do this is to have something pulled up, again, whether it's an interlinear app on your phone, on your computer, whether you're using an app, you can use the blue letter for this purpose. Write these along with us, and we're going to dissect them. And the more you write this, the more you absorb it, and the more you really learn a language. That's how you learn. You learn it by reading it, by writing it, by actually immersing yourself and doing it. By actually immersing yourself and becoming a part of the language. That's how you learn a language. So, y'all should be writing this right along with us. This portion of this verse is right up here. This is Lama Za LASHAWAN LASHAWAN. Let me write this a little more clearly. Lama Za LASHAWAN LASHAWAN, which in the Hebrew, this lama right here is the word why. This is the word that in the King James is translated that wherefore. Wherefore is just another way of saying why. That's all. So why za is this. Za is how you say this thing, this whatever. Za. Za is this. LASHAWAN. Do you ask? LASHAWAN is a word that we should be able to break down at this point on site, because we've been seeing these basic words over and over, and we know how to break down a Hebrew word by now. We look for its root. We look for the root word that forms the core of it, and then we look for letters that represent a preposition will be at the beginning of the word, which could be the, to, in, of, pertaining to. We look for a letter at the end of the word that will represent a possessive. Could be my, your, their, his. And sometimes a letter in the middle of the word will change the tense of the word. So here, there's one word that we all use all the time. It's shum. Shum is what? Name. So if we can see that and spot that in the middle of this word forming the core of this word, then what are we looking for up here? What is la? La is two. It is literally two, but remember our language is fluid. It has a vibe to it, a flow to it. So we're going to see that, sometimes you got to understand the boundaries of a word like that. So two, and that ya at the end of the word is my. So lama, why, za, this, LASHAWAN, do you ask, LASHAWAN, to my name. In other words, why are you asking about my name? That's it. That's this line right here. Why are you asking about my name? Why do you want to know my name? And it all starts with the question word why, which is lama. And this is one way to say why. It's not the only way to say why. And so we're going to cover the second way to say why, which is madawai. And we're going to use the example of Genesis 40:7. Matter of fact, I'm not going to write Genesis because we're past that point by now. If you were with us a few weeks ago, we went over every book in the Old Testament and its Hebrew name. And so we know by now that Genesis is Ba-Ra-Ash Yath, which is in the beginning. So Ba-Ra-Ash Yath 40:7, and up here, Ba-Ra-Ash Yath 32:29. Now, if y'all learn to where you can run down those numbers in Hebrew on site, then I'll be impressed. Barashath 40 and 7 is, let's run over to this real quick. And yeah, I'm going fast for a reason. I want everybody to be writing these things down fast, reading them fast, absorbing them fast. We're here to push ourselves because that's the only way you take back a language and a culture that's been taken from you. You got to work for it. So Barashath 40 and 7. And the scripture says, and he asked Pharaoh's officers that were with him in the ward of his Lord's house, saying, wherefore look ye so sadly today? Now this is Joseph, right? Joseph dealing with Pharaoh. Joseph is in Egypt at this point. And so he's asking, why the long face? Why you look so sad? Why? What's up? In the Hebrew, that is Ma-da-why. Again, that's the word for why that we're using here. Ma-da-why. Punyakam, which if you've been working with the Hebrew lately, you should recognize. Punyakam is a root word there that we've seen a lot lately. And it's face. Because when you ask them why somebody looks sad, you're talking about the look on their face, right? No matter why Punyakam, Ra'ayim, which if we recognize this by now, this is the word, Ra is the word for evil. And so in our language, when you're asking somebody why they look sad, well, why would somebody be sad? The only way that you would be sad is if evil is befalling you. If evil is coming upon you, then you're sad. So why does your face have evil? Hayawam, which is today. Your wom is day, right? So if your wom is day, then Hayawam is literally the day, but it's saying this day. Hayawam is today. So let's break this down again. Ma-da-why is the word for why. Or in the King James English, wherefore. Wherefore and why are the same word. Wherefore? Wherefore art thou Romeo? She was asking, why do you have to be Romeo? Ma-da-why? Why Punyakam? Let's get the exact literal. His face is Ra'ayim. Now, this word Ra comes up 663 times in the scriptures. This is for everybody's reference because this is the word you should know. This is the word you're going to see often. This is Strong's 7451. If you want to look it up on your own. 442 of those times it's translated as evil. The other times it's wickedness, wicked, mischief, hurt, bad, trouble, sore, affliction, ill, adversity, ill-favored, harm, noisome, grievous, sad. Sad is only 2 times. But it's basically telling you that our concept of sadness is that evil has come upon you. So, no matter why Punyakam, Ra'ayim Hayawam, why are your faces evil today. And that's how you use madawai. Now, there's an obvious question here. When do I use one and when do I use the other? Well, madawai occurs 6 times in the scriptures. So the standard way to say why is lama. That is the typical, normal way to say why. Sometimes in a language, you just have different ways of saying things. I'm sure everybody out there knows the type of brother that says things in an overly complicated way, just because that's his style. You know, and some people it might annoy him, some people might, think, oh, he has a way with words. Whatever, it's just his style. Well, this word madawai, they say, was contracted from the phrase, let me write this out. Ma yadawai, which is what being known. What is known? That's what this phrase is. This phrase at some point in the history of our language was cut down and contracted down to madawai and just used as a different way of asking why. So here we are, and this is the way that Joseph asked why. Maybe he was speaking in that way because he was around the Egyptians, or who knows? Probably if he was around the Egyptians, he might have been speaking a whole different language. So this was translated. Listen, bottom line is that's the word he chose to use. It's a valid word for why. You'll see it a few times in scriptures, but for the most part, you'll see lama. You will see this word here, which is lama. And so what you have here are the 2 ways of saying why. Now take a minute, sit with that, write those over again, write those several times, absorb them, and now you're learning how to form questions in Hebrew. And so now we're getting down to the point where we're learning to form questions, and we're learning to actually use this language. So, what do we have up here? So now we've covered the why. Now we're going to cover the where. How do you say where in Hebrew? There's one way to say it, and it is ayah. Ayah is the word for where. And we're going to give an example. We're going to stay in Genesis, Barashah 38 and 21. Barashah 38 and 21. And this scripture is going to say, where is the harlot? So let's take a look back at this. Genesis 38 and 21 in the English is, then he asked the men of that place, saying, where is the harlot that was openly by the wayside? And they said, there was no harlot in this place. And this is the kid that Judah, or Salaga, this is the woman that Judah sent out to find out. This is in Genesis 38, so we'll be coming up on this soon in the Sabbath service to break this down from the Hebrew and get deep into the meaning of what was going on here. But for now, we're going to focus on this key phrase. So again, y'all should be writing this down with us. This is in Genesis 38 and 21. Where is the harlot is Aya HaQADASH. Where the harlot, in the literal sense. Aya, which is where. The harlot. Aya HaQADASH. And it's that simple. The way that you say where is with this word ayah. So we're going to take another example. And this is, it's not very often that you find people in scriptures just asking, where something is. But we're going to take this other example here. Let's see. Let's take a look here. Let's go back all the way back to Genesis 19, which we went over recently in the Sabbath service. In Genesis 19, let's write this down again. Barashah. 19:5. So everybody turn to Genesis 19:5 so we can stop so we can get this going. And so let's take a look at Genesis 19:5 and see if we can get this together. And they called unto Lot and said unto him, where are the men which came into thee this night? Bring them out unto us that we may know them. So these sodomites, these LGBTQ freaks in Sodom and Gomorrah was trying to take the angels and violate them. This is why this city needs to be burnt. And of course, the same thing, the same types of things, the same level of degeneracy is happening right outside that door here today in America. And that's why America needs to go. So, we all remember what happened. The angels came to visit Lot. The freaks of Sodom and Gomorrah saw the angels go in and they said, there's some new men there. They wanted to get them to men. And so they went and tried to break down the door trying to get at them. And then after the angels blinded them, they kept trying to break down the door and still get at them. But here we have an example of the word where being used again. So, where are the men which came into thee this night? Now let's start with, they said unto him, Lawah. We know by now, this is the most basic word that you can make. There's no root word here. There is a preposition, the la, and the possessive, which is the wa. They said to him. La wa. They said to him, Ayah Ha'anashim, which is the men, Ha'anash Yum. We should all know at this point that Yum at the end of the word is what pluralizes a word for the most part. There are some exceptions to that rule. But for the most part, that Yum at the end of the word is what pluralizes it. So, Ayah HaNashim Ashar, which is which. That's the word for which. Ba'awa, which is based on the word to come, is ba'a. So ba'awa is which came unto, let's make some room for this. Al-Yaka, which is to you, unto you, Al-Yaka. But the key word here is this ayah. This is how you say where. So lawa, ayah HaNashim, ashar ba'awa, Al-Yaka. And up here in Bar Ashraf 38 and 21, ayah HaQADASH, where's the harlot? Ayah HaQADASH, where's the harlot? And in 19 verse 5, Ayah HaNashim Ashar Ba'wa Al-Yaka. Where are the men which came unto you? And so now we've covered why and where. Now we're going to take a minute. Let that sink in. Again, everybody should be writing these multiple times because really the way that you learn a language is through repetition, what they call spaced repetition, which means you learn something, you move on to some other things, but then you come back around and you learn that thing again. And then you keep going, and then that thing pops up again, and then you keep going, and then the thing pops up again, and now you know what it is. And that's what's happening here, because some of these words are new, but some of these words we're starting to recognize because we've seen them so many times. That's spaced repetition. And that's how we're learning this language. And so now we're going to erase this real quick. And we are going to move on to when. Quick glance over here. And shalom to everybody in the chat. Shalom, shalom to everybody that's out here rocking with us. We're going over the question words in the Hebrew. We're learning how to formulate questions, and we're using examples in the scriptures, mostly in Genesis. But let's see where we end up going for the word when. And the word for when in the Hebrew is the word mafia. Mafia is the word for when. And the first example that we're going to use is going to be Psalms 94 and verse 8. In Psalms 94 verse 8, in the English is, understand, ye brutish among the people, and ye fools, when will ye be wise? Lord wants to know when. When will ye finally be wise? So let's write this down in the Hebrew. This is Psalms. If anybody remembers what Psalms is in the Hebrew, I'll be impressed. Thahalium, which is praises. Because Psalms is a book of praises in the form of songs, in the form of poetry, in the form of prayers. Psalms is a book of praises to the Most High. And the word for Psalms in the Hebrew is Thahalium, which is praises. In Psalms 94, verse 8, when will ye be wise? Mafia the Shakayalia. The Shakayal was Salakia. Mafia, which is when. This is the word for when right here. Mafia Tha Shakayalwa. Of course, that wa at the end is the you. When will you be wise? Shakal here, the root word is shakal. Which is the word for to be wise, to be prudent, to understand. This is an excellent word to remember. This is an excellent phrase to remember. Because the Most High is tired of asking this question and waiting for an answer. When will you be wise? Mafia Dashak Yalwa. And this is in the volume 94, verse 8. So we're going to keep running through it. Hopefully everybody has copied that down. Now we're going to go to a longer example. For each of these, we've been using one basic 2-word example and then a longer sentence to give you an idea of how the flow really works. And now, before we, matter of fact, we're going to combine this right here. We're going to go to Psalms 94, verse 3. Because this word, mafia, for when you add the word "id" at the beginning, "id" mafia is how long. Because that word "I" is the word, it's a word that suggests a long period of time. It's until. So this is the word for when. This is saying until when. How long? Until when? And in Psalms 94, verse 3, the volume 94 and 3, just a few verses up from where we were up here, is a different type of question. I'd mafia, how long? Rashayim, which we should recognize from what we talked about earlier, Rai is evil. Rashayim is, remember this yom at the end is plural. Rashayim is the evil, the wicked, the evil people. How long will the wicked triumph? Ya Ilazwa. Ya Ilazwa. Now we can break this down. Of course, we recognize in the middle we see the root word is Ilaz. Ilaz is to rejoice or to triumph. And that's what we have to look for when we see an unfamiliar word, is something that we can break down. If we can take out letters at the front that represent prepositions or pluralities or possessives, letters at the end that represent possessives, then we can start to break down and identify some things. So Mafia or Shayim, Ya Ilazwa. And that is, how long shall the wicked triumph? I'm going to write this in words that'll make the two separate words make sense. Until when? Until when the wicked triumph. So now in one shot, we've learned the word for when and the word for how long. Mafia, Mafia. When, until when. So now we have checked off when. We're going to go through one more example for when for Mafia by itself. We're going to go to Psalm 119 and verse 82. So we're still in Psalms. We're in the volume 119, 82. And the scripture in English, the entire verse is, "Mine eyes fail for thy word, saying, when wilt thou comfort me?" So, let's break down this whole scripture. It's a short verse. Let's see what we can learn right here. Kalwa, Ayunya, La Amarathka, La Amar. Again, if you're watching this and you're not writing along with me, you're missing out. This is how you really grasp a language, by practice, by working with it, by making it a part of yourself. So now the first part of this verse, Kalwa, is the word for fail. Ayunya, we should be familiar with Ayun by now. These are eyes, Ayunya. We talked about the yum being the thing that pluralizes a word, but there are exceptions. This is one of those exceptions. Sometimes you'll just see a ya instead of a yum. Ayunya is eyes. La Amarathka, to, or in this case, for your word. For thy word. La Amar, Now we know that Amar is to say, so La Amar is to say, or in this translation, saying. My eyes fail for thy word saying. Kalu Ayunya, La Amarathka, La Amar. Mafia. When? Tha na kamunya. Now this word, you know, I stress all the time, there are so many ways to build your vocabulary very casually. This is an excellent example. If you learn brothers' names, because a lot of brothers have names after well-known prophets in the scriptures, if you learn the names of the books of the Bible in the Hebrew, and you learn what those names mean, when you're reading about brothers in the scriptures, if you learn what their name means, you're expanding your vocabulary. So if you know that Nehemiah or Nehemiah in the scriptures is a name that means comfort, then you can recognize here Nakamanya, Tha Nakamanya. So this is, will you comfort me? When, and then all the rest of that is encompassed here in this word. When will you comfort me? Wilt thou comfort me? Kalu Ayunya, La Amarathka, La Amar, Mafia, Na Thanakamanya. Fail eyes for thy word, saying, when wilt thou comfort me? And just like that, you just broke down Psalms 119 to verse 82, and you learned a few key words in the process. And so now we've really covered when. So I hope y'all keep it up, because we're moving on. And this is the beauty of learning this language, is that you can learn it in the process of learning and absorbing and breaking down these beautiful scriptures. Man, y'all hear the beautiful poetry in the Psalms, and it sounds that much better in the Hebrew. And so now we are going to go to who? The word for who? Maya. And we're going to use our first example again in Genesis. This is going to be in Genesis 3. So, Barashaf 3 and verse 11. And the scripture says in English, and he said, who told thee that thou wast naked? Hast thou eaten of the tree whereof I commanded thee that thou shouldest not eat? So of course this is talking to Adam. And of course this is the scripture that Christians and everybody else that falls under the umbrellas of Christians confuse and somehow think that they were walking around actually physically naked, and that apparently this is God's perfect design and intention, was for everybody to be walking around naked. Even though we have laws against seeing various people's nakedness, we have laws about modesty. Our culture is about modesty. But y'all want our culture to be like a bunch of Africans out in the bush walking around naked. That's not our culture. And so this is a figurative nakedness. But we're going to break this down word for word here. Waya Amar, which we've talked about a lot, you got to get used to certain ways that many scriptures start off. And Waya Amar is one of the most common things that you're going to see a verse start off with. And it means, and he said. Amar is to say, Wa is and, Ya at the beginning of a word means he. And he said. Waya Amar, Maya, which is our word for who, Hagayad, Laka, which again, we've been stressing, when you see a word that basic, you should be able to break it down on sight. La is to, ka is you. There's no root word, it's just to you. Who told to you, kaya, which in this case is that. This is also the word for or because. Kaya, that. Ayarum. Now this word ayarum only shows up 10 times in the scriptures. And guess what it does not represent in the scriptures? This is not the word that is in the law when it tells you not to look on someone's nakedness. It's not this word. Ayarum is a word that is always used in a figurative sense, as far as I can see. Somebody can tell me if I'm missing something. But just to give an example, in Ezekiel 16:39, and I will also give thee into their hand, and they shall throw down thine eminent place, and shall break down thy high places. They shall strip thee also of thy clothes, and shall take thy fair jewels, and leave thee naked and bare. So the naked and bare here is clearly talking about they took everything from you. They took your jewels. They're going to take all your stuff. They're going to take your city. They're going to leave you naked and bare with nothing, exposed. And that's what this naked is here. This is the same word that's in the curses in Deuteronomy 28:48. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee, in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in want of all things. Meaning we're not going to have any protection for ourselves. We're not going to have anything that we can do for ourselves. We're going to be completely exposed to our enemy, to our oppressor, and we're going to have to go to them for everything. And so that's the naked here. This is Ayarum. Who told you that you were naked? Wayamar, Maya, Hagayad Laka, Kaya Ayarum. Wayamar, and he said, Maya, Hagayad, who told Laka to you, Kaya Ayarum, that you are naked. And that's going to be our first example for the word for who. Let's get another. Let's go to Exodus 15 and 11. Now, does anybody remember what the name for Exodus is in the Hebrew? Again, I'll be impressed. Name for Exodus in the Hebrew. I'll give y'all a second to think. It's very simple. Shamawath, which is the names, Shamawath 15 and 11. And in English, the scripture says, who, Maya, who is like unto thee, O Lord, among the gods? Who is like thee, glorious in holiness, fearful in praises, doing wonders? So who is like unto thee? Let's focus on that phrase right here. Again, really, y'all should be beating me to the punch. Y'all should be turning to this page in your own interlinear and writing it down and being done before I'm done. And write it down again. Maya Kamaka, who is like unto thee, I'm going to leave it there. Who is like unto thee? Ka Maka. Who? Maya. Kamaka. Like unto thee. Because a ka at the beginning of the word, again, we're identifying prepositions. And that ka always means like. So ka maka, who is like unto thee. And this is Exodus 15 and verse 11. So now we've covered the who. What's left? The how and the what. Let's knock out the fifth W. And then cover the hows. Now, this fifth W, the what. What is very simple. Well, what is very simple? What is ma? That ma right there is how you say what in the Hebrew. And our first example is going to be Genesis 37 and 15. Checking the comments real quick. Trooper Sha'athwan, Bill, Trooper Sha'athwan for being right with those Hebrew names. Ma is how you say what. And our first example, we're going to go right back to the Genesis. Barasha 37 and 15. And this verse in English now, this is also something we'll be coming up on soon. This is when Joseph was dreaming prophetic dreams. And in verse 15, it says, a certain man found him, and behold, he was wandering in the field. And the man asked him, saying, what seekest thou? So now, we're going to focus on that one portion. What seekest thou? Ma Sabakwash. Ma Sabakwash. What are you looking for? It's that simple. Ma is how you say what. Ma is how you say what in almost any context. This is a word that comes up decently often in the scriptures. Like a lot. So we're going to go back to Genesis 32. Remember, we started here when we searched up the word for why. What was that word for why? La ma. Starting to see a connection. Ma is what? La ma is why. And so after we started earlier in verse 29, and the angel was saying, why are you asking for my name? Well, we slide up in verse 27. He asked Jacob for his name. So Genesis 32 and 27. Imagine being in this situation. The angel pulls up, scraps with you, asks you what your name is. You tell him. You ask him what his name is. He says, "Why are you asking for my name?" Well, this is what was going on right here. So, chapter 32 and verse 27. We learn to ask the most basic question. The first thing that you learn when you learn any language. You learn to ask somebody, what is your name? Ma Shum Ka. Ma, which is what? Shum, which we know is name. Ka, which is a possessive for you or your. Ma Shum Ka. What is your name? And this is why we go into these question words, so that we can learn how to formulate sentences that we can actually use, so we can put this language to work, so that we can really turn this back into our language, bit by bit, piece by piece. Ma Shamka, what is your name? Next time you meet a new brother in the school, say Ma Shamka. Don't ask him what's your name in English. Say Ma Shamka. And let's be honest, this is one of those questions You should be able to decipher on the spot. One of the most powerful ways to learn a language is by immersion. You know what I'm saying? If you were dropped suddenly into a foreign country and you just had to exist and get by, you're going to have to start figuring out based on context what people are talking about. So if somebody comes up to you and says, Ma Shum Ka, if you know that Shum is name, if you know that Ka, yeah, I think he's saying my name, he must be asking, what's your name? Ma Shum Ka. And so now, we are going to go down. Matter of fact, let's use one more example. For what? Let's see. Let's find another example here for what. Let's go to Genesis 44 and 15. So in 44 and 15, and again, these are these essential basic stories, the foundational stories that form our understanding of everything in the scriptures and everything that comes after. We got to know these. So I encourage everybody, tune into the Sabbath service, rock out with us, practice your Hebrew. Let's get into the breakdowns of these scriptures and these stories. So at this point, we're still dealing with Joseph and his brothers. This is in Genesis 44. Let's see where we're going to slide this in. Down here. Barasha 44 and where are we at? 15. 44 and verse 15. And Joseph said unto them, what deed is this that ye have done? Wot ye not that such a man as I can certainly divine? So, what deed is this that ye have done? Ma, let's start over here. Ma, what? Hama Aisha. Hazah. Ashar. Aishayatham. So we know by now that Ma is what, right? So I want y'all to do when you look at a new verse like this is see what you can identify and what you can break down before you look at the translation. Try and challenge yourself. So in this case, we know that Ma is what? Now, what else do we know here? Well, I can't speak for anybody else, but I know, Aisha Ya'ala, know that Aisha is the word for work or creation or to do or to make. That's what this word right here. So this, in this sentence, in this context, would be deed. This is the deed that you have done. Here's Aisha again. We just talked about za is this. So we know that ha is the. Remember, we got to expand our boundaries when we think of these prepositions like the and to. when we're converting them into a different language, don't try and make it fit your box. Widen your box to understand the word here. So, Hazah, Ma Hama'aisha Hazah. What is this deed that Ashar is which or that in this case? Which or that is the same thing in this context. Ashayatham, that you have done. Mahama Aisha, Hazah, Ashar, Ashayahum, Ashayatham, Salah. Mahama Aisha, Hazah, Ashar, Ashayatham. What is this deed that you have done? What deed is this that you have done? So Ma is what? And now we've knocked that off as well. Now what's left? How? Now how, there's a few different ways that you can say how. I will be impressed if anybody out there remembers one of the ways that you can say how, because that way is actually the name of one of the books in the Old Testament. It's just called How. There's a book in the Old Testament, which in the Hebrew is simply referred to as How. If anybody knows that, I will be impressed. I'm going to go over and check the comments, and we're going to find out. No? Nobody? I'm going to give y'all a minute. All right. Well, then let's pull it up. The first word in the book of Lamentations is ayakah. Now we know that having a ha at the end of the word is a way of changing the tense or the form. And so the standard form here is ayak. And so we're going to go back to Genesis for an example. Let's see what we'll use for an example. Let's find out. And so what we're about to learn is there's a few different ways of saying how. And so let's find an excellent example for this right here. Okay. Just a second. All right, we're going to go to Jeremiah, the 2nd chapter, and the 21st verse. And so here in Jeremiah 2 and 21, as our time winds down, we're going to make sure that we cover the ways of saying how. And the first way is ayak. In Jeremiah 2 and 21, the scripture reads, "Yet I had planted thee a noble vine, wholly a right seed. How then art thou turned into the degenerate plant of a strange vine unto me?" And that is beautiful. That's so descriptive of what we as a people did by turning away from the Most High. The Lord created us to be a noble vine, a right seed, a pure and upright people, the beacon, the pinnacle. And instead, just look out in Harlem. Look out in whatever city you're in. We're a degenerate plant. We're a strange vine. You can't recognize just looking at the condition that we're in that we're supposed to be the best people on the planet Earth. If I walk down to that corner right there, there's going to be people falling over high out of their minds. We're a degenerate plant, but we were created to be a noble vine. And so, let's write this out in the Hebrew. How then art thou turned into the degenerate plant of a strange vine unto me? Why ayak? Because it's how then, or like and how. So why ayak? Nahapakath. Laya. Sawaria. Hagapun. Nakarya. With the key word here being ayak, or how. So again, why ayak and how. Now the root word here is hapak. Hapak is to turn, but to turn specifically in the sense of overturning something from its rightful state. So we were the noble vine, and we flipped that and became a degenerate plant. Wa'ayak nahapakath laya. Laya, we know this, right? La is to, ya is me. To me. So warrior. This one word is the beauty of our language. This one word, this little word, warrior, is the word that is translated to half this verse. Into the degenerate plant. Because a lot of that is implied. This sawar is degenerate. So literally what we're saying so far is, and how have you turned unto me And this is saying degenerate. How have you turned degenerate? But because the verse started with the imagery of a noble vine and a right seed, the imagery is continuing here in your mind. So if you're reading this in the Hebrew, you're understanding that this is talking about a degenerate plant because the imagery is continuing. So, Wayak, Nahapakath, Laya, Sawaria, and how have you turned to me into the degenerate plant, Hagapun, which is of the vine, the Karya is strange. Wayak, Nahapakath, Laya, Sawaria, Hagapun, Nakarya. And how have you turned to me into the degenerate plant of a strange vine? And that right there is the word for how. So no, it's too loud. And that is the word for how. And we're going to pull up one last example for a different form of how, so that we go out with a full understanding of all the question words in the Hebrew language. And we are going to use, let's see what we're going to use. Let's see what we are going to use. Okay, here we go. One more way to say how. In this case, we're going to use an example from the book of Esther. Chapter 8 and verse 6. And this scripture in the English, for how can I endure to see the evil that shall come unto my people? Or how can I endure to see the destruction of my kindred? So this is going to be based on the same ayak, but it's going to be a little bit different. So follow along and we'll break it down. Kaya, which we know is for or because. Hayakaka. I will call Wara Ayathia Barai Ashar Yamatazah Aimya. And just like that, as you can see, we start with this word ayakaka. And this is a word here for how. But this is based on that same root of ayak, as you can see. It comes up in this different form. You're going to see it based on the context. You're going to see this different form a few times in the scriptures. And this is Esther speaking, which is why you have the feminized version, Kaya, Ayakaka, I will call, or Ayafia, Barai, Ashar, Yamatazah, Af, Aimya. Now, if we can break some of this down, let's see what we know. This Kaya we've already talked about today. That's the word for or because. This word Ra we've talked about a few times. That's the word for evil. Ashar, we've mentioned today. That's the word for witch. And Af, Aimya. Af is a word that does not have an English equivalent. It connects the subject to its verb. This is Aimya. This is the subject. Aim is a people or a nation. Ya is my. Aimya is my people. So now let's work back and see some of these. I will call is, can I endure? So I will call is endure. While Ra'ayathya is translated as to see. We're running through it because we're running down on time. Bara'aya is the evil. Ashar, witch. Yamatazah is shall come unto. Aimya, my people. And now we've covered how. So just like that, in one class, we learned how to ask questions with who, what, when, where, why, and how. We don't have time for a recap. If you want to recap, go watch the whole class again. As for us, we'll be right here next week and every week. In the meantime and in between time, at the headquarters of the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. And with that, we say shalom.